G'day everyone. A few days ago, I heard the phrase I haven't heard for a while, you don't ever want to meet your heroes. Why would you not want to meet your heroes? Surely if there's someone you admire, you would want to meet them. But the truth of the quote is that when you do meet your heroes, sometimes it can be quite disappointing because they're not actually as heroic as you thought they were, or they might actually not be the kind of people that you thought they were. And some of my guitar heroes, I think, have been a bit that way and have been a bit disappointing for me. Jesus had something to say to his followers, to the disciples and to the crowd who were listening, that can bounce off that. And it's about being ashamed. Here's what Jesus has to say. It's right at the end of Mark chapter 8. If anyone is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of him when he comes in his Father's glory with the holy angels. And he said to them, I tell you the truth, some who are standing here will not taste death before they see the kingdom of God come in power. They're the words of Jesus. So he's expecting people to not be ashamed of him. And why would people want to be ashamed of Jesus? Well, I'm not sure why people would be ashamed of Jesus, but clearly some people would be. And I think that would be because he was teaching things that were in conflict with the norms of the time. That hasn't changed. In fact, it feels more that way than it has in any other period of my life. Perhaps they would be ashamed of him because he was calling people to put him first before anything else, and they would find that difficult. Whatever reason, Jesus makes clear, don't be ashamed of me. Don't give me reason to be ashamed of you. And it's disappointing when we meet our heroes and we find ourselves quite ashamed that they were our heroes. It would have been good to know them better before they took on that hero status. Maybe that's something we need to do with Jesus, to get a good idea of who he is before we claim him to be our hero. Don't be ashamed of him. There's no reason to be. And then he talks about coming again in power, and people who are here will see it happen. What's that referring to? Well, I think that's referring to his death and resurrection. And there would be people alive then who he was talking to who would see that take place. Are you ashamed of Jesus? Why? What reason do you have to be ashamed of him, or to be ashamed to have been called a Christian? Or are you intrigued by Jesus? Well, if you have any questions, leave them below and I'll answer them. But if you find yourself ashamed of Jesus, I'd love to know why as well. But maybe you want to send me a private message for that chat. Have a great weekend. Don't be ashamed of Jesus. You can look to him in love. I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.